I tried someone else for a short time. The same thing, same stuff. I got a binder off this thick. This company, by the way, that I'm talking about it's with Sandra Aguilar, and the supervisor is Kelly Galloway. I audio recorded all my visits, so if anyone has any doubt about what has happened or the veracity of my statements, they are happy to subpoena my records. Another company is called Family Access. It would be a 3-hour video that would be very boring because their type of subversion was a little bit different. Instead of accusing me of doing stuff in the visits, they would accuse me of these infrastructure, organizational issues, thereby canceling my visits, causing me a great deal of stress. They would gas me by email. Pardon me. I have a terrible cough. Anytime something like this happens with my son, I get really sick. I've had to address my own issues with spending more on healthcare, which I didn't for a while, but finally I was like, I can't get well, so I put myself on a regime of mycoceuticals. Ever helped is helpful. But I fell off and now I'm sick again. Severely affects your health. The other company, so they were called Family Access. Oh my God, that lady was, people just can't figure out why people get all visits with all of us, because everyone just but that's what we do. We just get people off supervised visits. I want to just be why even bother saying that? It just makes you look worse. You just lose credibility. How can you have even any self-esteem after saying that and then engaging in this level of gaslighting? They're kind of foolish because I didn't even need to record the visits, because their type of gaslighting was oh, Miss Harp, we have been calling you. This is by email. Miss Harp, we have been calling you all morning, and my goodness, it has been impossible to reach you. We must have called you 3 times in the past 2 hours, and we wrote you last night, and we called you last night as well. I'm oh my God, they called me. I missed my call. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Wait, did I miss something? Maybe they called my voice number. Hold on. No, they didn't call. I've been hacked. By and by, I realized I had not been hacked. But these things kept repeating, and it's so foolish that because you can document it. I have a binder this thick. I have been calling you over and over this morning. I have a phone number, transcribes your messages, bitches. So, blah, 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 print it out, put it in the binder. I have emailed you 3 times asking for payment, but since last week, and you haven't paid at all, so we're gonna have to cancel your visit. And these things I'm making up because it's been about 6 months, but this was the tone of them. I mean, they were exactly like this. I'm email me, send me a bill. What? Send me a bill. I'm looking it up. No bill. And I think one time out of about 15, my boyfriend had changed the credit card address and didn't tell me, so when I paid, it didn't go through. I'm like, I'm gonna pay you, right? You just call me and be like, hey, we need payment. We've got a visit in 3 hours, I'm gonna cancel it. No, we're canceling your visit over and over, and that causes a huge amount of stress and anxiety, and you're constantly in a panic, did you miss something? Did you do something you didn't do? And it just goes on and on. It's absurd. I mean, one time I gave my son a drug test, and this was with the nicest supervisor. You would think she'd be like, oh my God, call CPS. He's pretending to smoke marijuana out of a pipe. Oh my dear, I've never seen pipes. I don't know what a marijuana pipe. You just watched me. I told you before the visit started that I was gonna give him a pipe because he was pretending to smoke weed like this, going around with the lighter he found. He can't even talk. Please stop talking. Stop talking. They accused me of that lying about that too. Never ends. I'm like, I think I know if I ever talk. What do I have to gain about claiming that he stopped talking and then me having to pay for him to go to physical therapy because he's not talking? If he didn't ever talk, I just think he was a late talker like my brother, and then we wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't be so upset. So, yeah. Gave him a drug test later. After it all came out, and the lawyers, I tried to get the lawyers to do something about it. I tried to get her to do something about it. Later, she tells me and everyone else that she told me not to drug test him a second time, but I did anyways. I was like, no, you didn't. Should have recorded everyone every single time. But, you know, try to follow the law, and then they tell you you broke it. And you don't have the evidence to prove it because you were prohibited from recording it. And if you say, actually, I did record it, you're in a catch-22 because it'd be like, she recorded it, she broke the law. What are you gonna do? I mean, what's even the point? Is this the way people make money? Is this how you make your money? Is this how you get your kicks? There are so many things you can do in this world. If you're a smart, intelligent person, I'm sorry, but we all live like kings. You're not starving. You want to make up some stuff about me so you can go to a fancy restaurant? You want to separate it, because that's what you're doing, separating children from their mothers. We as a society, we need to look around. When we see a woman being an amazing, loving, kind, empathetic, joyful, cool, fun mom. I don't mean cool like let's smoke out. I mean like, let's make a tent in the backyard. It's gonna be awesome. Guess what? I've invited Big Red. Baby's like, who's Big Red? And you're like, oh, that's your big, giant, fuzzy friend. Would you like, I have a story about him. Would you like me to read a story in the tent about Big Red? You know, like, I mean, come on. How cool is that? Like, so mom slammed the door. Let's move on, people. Let's put the children with both parents and quit creating drama, and people need to learn to get along. And if you have one person doing something that continually keeps them from seeing their child, and that person saying, well, that person did wrong, that person did wrong, that person did wrong, that person did wrong, I guarantee you, the person who's saying that person did wrong over and over and over and over again, they're the wrong one. It's not an infallible statement, but you get my drift. We're not talking about child abuse here. Actually, it is child abuse to separate a child from a mother. Thanks for that. I'm talking like, you know, the sort of did wrong where it's vague. And I mean, did wrong is like, it was obvious. Like, he picked up the child and threw him out the window and your neighbor saw and you took a video of it and your child is now in the hospital. That's a reason to separate a parent from a child. The other stuff,